In this section, we will discuss the timing of games, overtime regulations, and timing adjustments. Quarter length is based on the level of play. For any varsity contest, the quarters are 12 minutes long. For a JV game, the quarters are 10 minutes. For SCISA, a JV game is any game that involves ninth graders but aren't varsity. B-team games have 8-minute quarters. These games cannot have any ninth graders involved. At all levels, there is a 1-minute timeout between the first and second quarter and the third and fourth quarters. During this time, officials should flip the chains to the other side of the field and make sure we start the quarters with the teams going in the opposite direction. A normal varsity halftime is 15 minutes. However, it can be extended up to 20 minutes for special occasions such as senior night or homecoming. This should be discussed before the game. The best way to normally handle this is by putting up 15 minutes on the clock, and if more time is needed, to add it then. We can always add time, but once it's up there, we can't take it down. For JV and B team games, the half should be 10 minutes. During halftimes, officials should use this opportunity to not only hydrate, but to discuss the first half. Referees need to take time to facilitate conversations about anything that happened in the first half. This could include close calls we want to discuss in more detail, strained situations, or any other question that the crew might have. If you have a new official on the crew, use this time to help them with one or two things to work on in the second half. Good referees don't let this time go to waste. Even if you don't spend the entire break talking, at least give the crew an opportunity. After halftime, and both teams have returned to the field, there is a mandatory 3-minute warm-up period that needs to be ran off. At no times can this be skipped or shortened. Even if both teams are on the field ready to kick, the time must completely run off. Also, don't have this time start until both teams are out on the field. We don't have to make sure both teams are fully out, but if we have a few players, we can consider the team out of the locker room. Finally, if we have a game that goes into overtime, there will be 3 minutes put on the clock. After this, if the ECO is an official, they will come down and run the down marker. Once this time runs out, the officiating crew will do the coin toss and start the first overtime period. The start of each game begins with a coin toss. The coin toss should take place between 3 and 5 minutes before the start of the game. The referee should tell each coach when he wants the captains on the sidelines to walk out for it. If a school has special events before the game, work with the school to keep things flowing without messing up their plans. The visitors get to call the coin toss. The winner of the coin toss has 4 options. The first is to defer to the second half. This means that they get to use their options after halftime. The second is to receive the opening kickoff. The third is to kick the ball. Do not let players use this option. If they say this, they mean defer. If a team chooses to kick, they will kick opening both halves, and you will be in for a long game. Finally, the last choice is to pick which goal to defend to start the game. Once we have determined who will receive the opening kick, the other team has the option of which goal to defend. You should discuss with the head coach before the game their options. Sometimes kids can forget in the moment, and we can help make sure that they make the correct choice. However, if they are insistent that they do want to do something opposite of what the coach told us, then we will go with it. Typically, teams like to KFC or kick from the clock. That way they can drive towards it in the second or fourth quarter. After halftime, we need to get the team options. I recommend talking to the coach who should be kicking first to confirm the end he wants to kick from. Then we can talk with the team that will be receiving the kick to let them know what end they'll be on. The referee should take another official with him when talking to the coaches here. Other than finding their options, it's an opportunity to talk to them about any other problems we might have had or if they have any questions for us. Having good communication with coaches can really make life easier. When coming out for the coin toss, here's the way we should line up. The referee, line judge, and back judge should come out from the home side. The referee should be on the side away from the scoreboard so that he can see it during the coin toss. The speaking captain should also be next to him. The umpire, linesman, and field judge should come out from the visitor side. The umpire should be directly across the referee with his speaking captain right next to him. Once the players come out, the referee should be facing the clock with all other officials at the closest 5-yard line facing the referee. The umpire should step up to the players when it's time for the coin toss to help confirm the call of the visiting team. Referees, use this time to quickly discuss your expectations of the captains. I typically tell them that if they are helping get their teams under control, we will give them the opportunity to cool things off before we step in. We can also talk about anything else you find important to stress to each team before the kick. If the game is tied at the end of the game, 3 minutes are put up on the clock and overtime begins after this time runs out. After the intermission, captains will come out for a coin toss. The visitor again has the call, and the options for the winner is offense, defense, or the end of the field. During overtime, there are no chains used, only the down marker. If the ECO is an official, he will come down and run the down marker. Otherwise, we will keep the same person in charge. During overtime, there are no chances to make the line to gain. Even in a weird situation with an automatic first down that starts the ball behind the 10, we are still goal to go. Each team gets the same opportunities to be on offense. The ball should start on the 10-yard line going in, unless there is a foul that carries over from regulation. Every subsequent series will start the same, and we won't flip sides of the field. There is only one timeout per overtime period. No timeouts from regulation carry over, and none carry over from overtime period to overtime period. Once Team A scores a field goal or after a try, the series is over. If at any time Team B gains possession, the play is over as well as the series. If the score remains tied after the overtime period, there is a 2-minute intermission and another period will begin. This is continued until a team wins. Finally, teams will alternate order of possession each period. So if the home team gets the ball first in the first overtime period, the visiting team will get it first in the second overtime period, and so on and so forth. In SCISA, we implement a running clock as part of our mercy rule. If a team goes down by 30 points, the losing team has the option to run the clock. If we get to 40 points, the running clock becomes mandatory. Once a running clock is started, we can't change it back to a regular clock, no matter the score. We also can start this at any point once the point differential has been met. If two coaches agree, quarters can also be shortened for any reason. If we have a weather delay that lasts 30 minutes and it takes place within the last 3 minutes of the first half, the halftime period can be shortened to 1 minute plus 3-minute warm-up period in order to keep delaying the game any further. Any weather decision is left up to the home team. Referees should ask before the game who is responsible for making calls for weather delays. Be sure to talk to this person before every game. If a timing error is discovered, it can be corrected so long as it's done before the second live ball after the error or before the period has ended. The most common example of this type of correction would be if the time continued to run after it should have been stopped. We can use any official's definite knowledge for the correction.